It's Sunday, it's Sunday, it's Sunday, it's Sunday, it's Sunday, it's Sunday, it's Sunday. Good morning, everybody. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Ben with Ben's Brick Designs. Happy Sunday. Glad you're all here. What's up, Kodiak? Nice to see you, as always. So welcome to Sunday. I've got two sets that I'm going to build today because I wasn't able to get the 501st set from Target or the Lego.com site. I don't think you can get them from Lego.com until September 1st, but Target has them available, and I think Walmart, and I'm not able to really go. What's up, Travis? How's it going? Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. At the Thunderdome, at the Melodrome. 5 cars enter, 1 leaves. I don't want to go. I do want to go to a Target to pick one up, but against my better judgment. So that is against my better judgment. It's not worth going and like competing with people not wearing masks and getting sick and everything. So I'm waiting till they're available online to order. So so that's what's going on. M Productions, how's it going? And good afternoon for my fellow friends in Europe, or evening, I guess, getting close to evening, depending on where in Europe you are. So I would like to start out by saying that I did open my Darth Momin from Big Kid Bricks. As you can see, he's out of the packaging. You can't really tell. I'm going to try to turn the lights a little bit so you can kind of see a little better. The lightsabers, you can kind of see the ridges. Those are 3D printed, custom 3D printed lightsabers. So is the helmet, and it's got his hair in the back there. And then the eyes on the head, I'm not sure if those are custom or not. It looks like it might be because you can kind of see how the head's got ridges in the printing. But that just may be a trick of the light. That may just be a sticker. But he's got kind of a custom fabric cloak, I think, back there. And the nice print for the front. So that's some good stuff. I really like it. I have got a couple other figures from Bantha Bricks on Facebook, a couple droids and some stuff. So there's that. So I'll put him with the rest of my I don't have anything really to do with these figures because I don't collect figures, but custom ones are going to be great. I'm probably going to get a few more from Big Kid Bricks because I need custom ones for non-existing Legends Star Wars figures like Cade Skywalker, and they don't have one. There's a fly in here, which is awesome. They don't have one for Trench. I need one for Trench, the big spider guy. Although somebody on the Facebook group posted a really good version of that. So I'll probably be ordering more of those soon. The next microfighters I'm doing will be a speeder tank, the pirate speeder tank with Hondo. Hondo is easily one of my favorite characters from Star Wars, at least the Clone Wars, if not all of Star Wars. That's my design. Why would you want to build your own tank? Come on, Jedi. How much was that? I don't know. It was a gift. It was for being a outstanding member of the Bantha Bricks website, contributing member. So they put you in a raffle with a bunch of other people, and this month I won that. Next month it'll be somebody else winning a different figure. I'm also going to build the Jabba sail barge mini microfighter, which is not my design, but I really liked one that I found, so I'm going to go ahead and build that with the Hut Killer Leia. It says Jabba Slave Leia. It's still Slave Leia outfit, but they tried to rebrand it as the Hut Killer. So those are the next projects. I'm going to park those out this week. I have this week off from work, so I might do some more streams during the week. I don't know yet. So today's build, yes, Twitch if you can. If you're on YouTube and you can move over to Twitch, I understand Twitch is not great for some people. But if you can move over, I would appreciate that. And I'm going to go ahead and silence my phone. And if you hear background noise, I live in a house with another person. So there you go. Beth says she's sorry, and that's okay. So today, we're going to do a couple sets that I'm sure nobody really cares about. The Pisana Speeder Chase and the the Brickheadz. Child and Mandalorian. So that'll be fun. And Asana Chase. I don't know why I got this one. Because it was kind of a cheapish set. And I don't think I have any Rey figures other than the Rey one that came with the speeder. So, although I may have two. One comes with the Nima Outpost. I don't have nearly enough First Order troopers, but anyway. So I'm going to start with this one. The box looks kind of banged up, but this is from Amazon. So this is the Child and the Mandalorian. Yeah, it looked like it was a fun set to build, especially the bike, the tread bike. So I'll check that out in a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and start with this one because it's probably pretty fast. So yeah, the 501st sets. Where is? Ooh, this seems to be oddly. Oh, there it is. Let me see if I can do this. Actually, no, I don't care. Might get the Star Trek Captain Scotty. Oh, are you on Big Kid Brick's site? They've got a lot of good stuff, not just Star Wars. They have a lot of stuff. I was initially supposed to be doing a project with him. Wherein he would take my designs, my microfighter designs, put a figure with them, and then do some box art and sell them at conventions. But we had talked about it, and then I never heard back from him, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. Probably nothing. And that was like a year ago or so. All right, so I think we're going to do Mando first. So this is bag 2. Yeah, despite it being bag 2, I want to do Mando first. So there you go. I finally concluded that to me, it seems like J.J. Abrams never did that writing exercise where you write a paragraph and then pass it to another student who builds it and adds the story, then you ad-lib and build it up. Yeah, I'm a Star Wars apologist. This kind of person who write out everything the writer. Yeah, I'm a Star Wars apologist, but there are parts of all the new movies that I really, really like. The dialogue is a lot better than the prequels. Is a lot better than the prequels. But I think overall, and we should have known this from Lost, that I think sometimes J.J. Abrams writes himself into a corner and doesn't really know how to get out other than a bunch of hand-wavy or giant spectacle kind of things. He seemed to do okay with Star Trek. The 2009 Star Trek I really enjoyed, and I thought he did really well with it. I thought he handled the characters really well, and the overall story. I didn't like the second one only because it was colored by the fact that he said, no, this isn't going to be Wrath of Khan, and then it was totally Wrath of Khan. Sort of the same way he and Lindelof were like, no, they're not in Lost, they're not in Purgatory, and then spoilers, they're in Purgatory. I need to get the Kiss custom from Big Kid Bricks. Yeah, there's some great stuff on that site. And yes, Rogue One was one of my favorites. I rewatched Solo a lot. I really like Solo. It grew on me quite a bit. And that's not in small part, that's in no small part to what's-his-name's portrayal. I thought he did fantastic. It was subtle enough that he was his own character, but you could tell he was still trying to be Han Solo. He wasn't really trying to be Harrison Ford too much, but some of that showed up. I keep licking my teeth. I'm sorry. I had brisket and eggs for breakfast, and I've got stuff caught in my teeth. Should have brushed my teeth. But, yeah, I go back and watch Solo quite a bit. I really liked it. And Rogue One, yeah, Rogue One's great. I think the only thing I didn't like about Rogue One was I felt like it was like we were supposed to get a different movie. Like from the trailers I saw, I felt like she was going to be more of a like I'm your newest rebel, and she was really going to embrace that role and just like go wholeheartedly into this. And she didn't, and that's okay. It's a different story. I just kind of wonder what it could have been if she, you know, if she was less a reluctant player. Did we lose our music? No, there's just tons of silence at the end of that song. So I did my marathon watch before, right as Disney Plus came out. And man, I'll tell you what, those prequels are just so hard to get through. Like I was fast forwarding almost every scene in episode 2. It's just so terrible. Yeah. Yeah, I bet if you hadn't seen the original prior to that, you're kind of like, okay, so who's this guy? And everyone's like, gasp. And you're like, okay. The original's fun. I will say that the later it goes, the farther away from it gets, it's starting to not hold up. It was holding up for a long time, but I watched it recently, and something about, I think it's less to do with the actual filmmaking and more to do with the cultural aspects. I feel like, oh no. Oh, well, that happens. The cultural aspects of it just seem a little outdated, despite it being 400 years in the future. You're like, we really wouldn't, we wouldn't do that now. Like I said, they're on my list of movie shows to watch. The Star Trek ones, yeah. So if you haven't seen the original motion picture Star Trek, I would watch the beginning, like half hour, and then there's a good hour in the middle of it you can really skip by because it's just them flying through space. There's like really nothing going on. It takes so damn long to get anything going. It's a slow moving movie, and it's a long movie. Like they could have shaved off like an hour of it, and it's still like a 2-hour movie. Yeah, it's a little hard to get through, but it does have the motion picture. It does have the creepiest transporter death scene I've ever seen. It's so messed up. Like it. Every once in a while, I'll find a clip on YouTube and watch it, and it's just to remind me how messed up it is. And it's not even that gory or anything. It's just you watch it and you're like, oh god. It's very unsettling. Ooh, this is a neat thing. Nice printed tile there in that corner. It's going to be part of his mask, I'm sure. What the what? How's this even... Did I miss it? Oh my god, it just sits in there. Yeah, look at that. It just sits in there. This is like falling... is it Falling Water? The Frank Lloyd Wright house? Where there's pieces that just sit on there. There's a lot of confused people building this going, what now? What the who? Are they floating that bit? Yeah, they totally are. Yeah, it just sits there like that. And my guess is that there'll be another bit that pinches it in on that side, and then something will, you know, go on top of it. So interesting build technique. I like that. That's pretty cool. That's something I don't think I've ever done in a mock. Like I haven't had the huevos to just let something sit like that, knowing that I'm gonna have to move it around and do stuff with it. I don't ever feel like I can just let it rest and then build on top of it. It's a build of faith. I'm assuming that's what's happening, and we'll get to the point where I'll be like, okay, maybe I messed that up, but I didn't see any other steps. So we watched Train to Busan last night. Man, oh man. What a great movie that was. Beth was like, I think this is one of the best movies I've ever seen. And she's a big horror movie fan. We haven't seen any zombie movies recently, so this was kind of nice. All right, take a break. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. But yeah, that was definitely a very, very well done movie. Well paced, well executed. Characters were all kind of believable. Just a thrill ride. Some of the effects. First of all, you're introduced to is it George Romero, the sprinting zombies? Those, as soon as you figure out that they're sprinting zombies, you're like, this movie's gonna be fun. I hate having to do this because I can't find this. There it is. Okay. So it's sort of held in right now. So that's pretty cool. Man. Just when I think I want to become a Lego designer, so they pull that kind of crap. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And of course the piece on top to lock it into place. So good. And as always, you got to have the brain piece. I don't know how many of these I put together before I figured out that that was a brain. Clever girl. Brain. Yeah, so if you haven't, watch Train to Busan if you like zombie movies. It is Korean, which means it's subtitled, which means you will have to read. But it's totally worth it. It's very good. Last week we watched Blue Ruin, which was a revenge movie. Totally not what I was expecting. It was very entertaining, a little slow moving, but I think that was deliberate. It was a deliberate movie, that's for sure. But it was a lot of fun. Subs over dubs any day. Yeah, I tend to try to watch my anime with subtitles, if available. For the longest time, I couldn't get any Dragon Ball Z and anything but a dub. And I'm a big Sean Schemmel fan. Love his vocal work. But if I can get it in the original with the old lady being Goku, I'm much happier. So what are my thoughts on The Mandalorian? I really like The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian to me seems like it's a property that's helmed by two people, because it's I think it's like the showrunner is Favreau, but I think Dave Filoni has a lot of input in it. I think he's like the executive producer, and then they have different directors for each episode. But it feels like a fan service show, meaning it's run by people who love the property, but they're doing it well. They're not, it doesn't feel, I'm just assuming on this now. Yeah, slow down. It doesn't feel rushed. It doesn't feel like they're pandering. It doesn't feel contrived. I do like that there's no Jedi and there's no, I mean, okay, the child has Force powers, but I do like that at the outset there's no like, this is this one family effing up the galaxy again. Yeah, it's very well handled, and I like that it's every episode so far has been bottle episodes, but there's just enough through lines, like it'll drag the characters with it. But every one is this is the heist one, this is the revenge one, this is the introduction one, this is the one where the team assembles, you know. I just really like it. I think that, and so I know people give the actual Disney films a lot of flack, like the actual Skywalker saga films a lot of crap, because, you know, they were average. They weren't great. Some of them were a lot of fun, but in the end they were just, you know, they were okay. But like Rogue One and Solo were like really good, like I thought. Season 7 of the Clone Wars was really good. The Mandalorian, really good. So, I mean, there's good stuff coming out of it. I just don't think that the big movies, because they can be they can take a few more chances and be a little more niche and whatnot with smaller products like the TV shows. One thing I didn't like is when they did Star Wars Resistance, yeah, they made it with, yeah, that was really great. They're also, the Lego people are they're doing a holiday thing now too, I just read. So I lost my train of thought. Anyway. Oh, Star Wars Resistance. They could have done so much with that show, but because it was a Disney XD or whatever it was, it totally, and I felt like if I was a kid, I don't know that I would watch it that much. I felt insulted as a kid. You know, like there was no, all right, I already did all this, so I felt like there was no growth in the character. There wasn't enough to keep me interested. They could have played up the aces a little more than they did. But instead it was, let's talk about Kaz and his pratfalls. It's a nice printed piece with the tan and the blue. And him Force Gumping his way through the galaxy, and it's just so frustrating. And in the end, when there's all that drama about his parents and Hosnian Prime and all that stuff, you're like, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about you. I don't care about your family. You didn't make me care. And it would suddenly get dramatic. And I didn't even finish the last half of the second season. I'm just like, ugh. All I was in it for was the cool, because it just made it look like it was going to be all about them against their First Order. You know, it's called the Resistance. And in the end, it was like them against weird creatures and pirates and, I don't know. Bless you. All I wanted was nice Lego ships to come out of it, and they didn't even do that. We got 2. There's all those aces that they put in there, and we get 2 stupid ships. All right. I'll do another leg here. But yeah, I rewatched The Mandalorian. That's just fun. And you know what? I'm pissed at whatever is going on with, I don't even know her full name. I'm going to look it up. What's her character name? Cara Dune, with Gina Carano's character, Cara Dune. They're doing the same. She said something, and now everybody's like, get her off the show. Let's see what she said. Because this was recently. I'll have to look it up later, but it felt like another Rose Tico Tran thing all over again, and I was just like, I'm not having this. It's so. She said something that was totally taken out of context, and now she's having to defend herself, and she's not going to defend herself because why should she have to? And it's frustrating. This is why we can't have nice things. Just watch the show and then go away. That's all. You know, you don't have to. Does look cape. I will say about The Mandalorian that I'm a little surprised and kind of upset that they actually showed his face in the first season. Like, I get the scene that it was involved and why he had to, but at the same time I'm like, oh, they didn't have to. They could have, like, cut away as they were taking his helmet off and then indicated that IG-71 or whatever his name is had seen it and said, you know, something about I'm a droid and whatever. I don't know. Oh, I forgot a piece. Yeah. Interesting. Oh, there it is. Also, there are plenty of places, yeah, they showed it. There are also plenty of places in Star Wars canon where Mandos have their helmets around off. Their helmets off around non-Mandos. Yeah, the whole Clone Wars thing where they're like, I think, I'm trying to figure out at what point that religion became, or that thing became part of their creed, because the Clone Wars, they're just walk around with their helmets like all the time so you can see their faces. He's got so many things on him. The binoculars. Why does he have two of these things? Oh, are they rocket launchers? They're shiny. Although Axe Blacksmith Mando was pure entire fan service and did not care, I was there for it. Yeah, I'm not sure where that character came from. I mean, if it was fan servicey, I couldn't pick it up. I think the idea is that maybe, I know it's way too far in the past, but there's all these people who are like, it's Sabine Wren. It's like, is it? It could be. Wow, there's a lot of extra pieces. A lot of extra pieces. All right, well, there's your Mando. Pretty cool. All right. Now onto the child. And here's all your extra pieces, of which there are a ton. I feel like I've missed something. Oh yeah, I totally missed one of those. That's only one. The rest of these make sense because there's only one of each, so all good. Let's put him right here. All right, child. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's really fan service or it's just because there's, you know, I don't know if badass ladies messing people up is just fan service. Which reminds me, I need to go watch Old Guard. That looks fun. I think I might do that today or this week. I'm pretty sure also one of those Mandos was actually Jon Favreau. At least the voice was. It's like you could hear the cadence in it when he was talking, given the big infantry Mandalorian. It's a little loud. Yeah, I guess not. It was alright. My laptop has a has volume creep, and so every once in a while a new song will come on and it just keeps getting louder and louder. I think fan service is more like in what they did the most recent Ghostbusters movie. Fan service would be putting in Dan Aykroyd, you know, as the cameo. It's like, oh, you're a fan of this show, and we're going to acknowledge that by putting something in that reminds you of why you're a fan of this show. To me, that's the kind of the definition of fan service. It's like it doesn't need to be in there. It's just kind of a nod or an homage. And you can do it tactfully, or you can do it clumsily, tactfully or clumsily. And I think Ghostbusters, the new one, did it clumsy. It was terrible. That whole movie was terrible. Like, I really wanted it to be good. I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan, but that was not good. Right, so in that sense, is somebody just being a badass fan service to please? I mean, was there a reason she was doing it? or was she doing it just to please fans? Like, to me, I feel like there was a reason she's a legitimately fleshed out character. She's the matriarch or the leader of that clan, and she's got to protect the clan. And when they disbanded and had to move, she remained behind to make sure they were all safe, including the Mandalorian, the main guy. So I don't know if her just beating the crap out of people is fan service, but him beating out the crap out of people is not fan service. You see what I'm saying? I think it's totally within the plot of the show for her to do what she did. That said, the Star Wars fan base is a bit can be toxic at times, and I get it. So, depending on what fan base we're talking about, it could be. I do like the smaller stories that. Oh man, look at that piece! Wow, that is gonna wreak havoc with my designs. Holy Jeebus. That is something special. I just did a design where I couldn't. Yeah, I just did that shuttle, that Rendarin class shuttle that could have used one of these. I'm gonna go back and redo that. That's fantastic. Oh, insert fan base can be toxic. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it can be no matter what. I just think Star Wars gets and I'm no exception. I get riled up when people say bad things about the things I like. As I grow older, I try not to, and I just try to sit back and go, okay, cool. I'm glad you have an opinion about it. I'm not going to fight you on it because I can't fight people's opinions. If you were to say to me, Star Wars came out in 1974, I'd be like, okay, well, now you're just stupid and wrong. But if you were to say, I don't like Star Wars and here's why, or, you know, the leader of that sect was appealing to fan bases, it's like, okay, fair enough. Oh, I totally did this wrong. Because there's subjective things that you just can't fight. I think we can all agree that episode 2 was terrible. There's almost nothing redeeming about that whole. I don't know. Like Obi-Wan's hair wasn't even good in episode 2. I don't know where that came from. Like suddenly mullets are back. I also think the toxicity comes from a sense of self-righteousness. Like they feel because they're a fan of it, they own it, right? And if something deviates or something attacks it, then they lash back out. And I think that's where the toxicity comes from, is the underlying fact that they feel like I am a fan of this, therefore I have a say in what happens to it. When in reality, you have very little say, unless, of course, you're a fan of, you know, Farscape or The Expanse. Anything that was briefly brought back from cancellation. In which case, you do have some say, apparently. Yeah, that is very true. This is a really fun little pram, hover pram. All right, I know this is what they were talking about. Somebody's talking about leaving these uncovered. I would have put one of these little, like the scalloped ones, right? The black scalloped ones along these edges, maybe. I don't know, because you just kind of leave it like that. Okay. Yeah. Yep. I mean, you saw what happened with Overwatch and that British character girl. That went wrong real quick. Switch, something like that. Tracer, yeah. Yeah, that was not pleasant. I love the lamp shading that Lego does with things that hover. They know they can't ever do it, and they're just like, look, trans clear means it's hovering. You do not see anything here. You see completely past it. It's so great. But everybody does it. You're not trying to suspend it from the ceiling with, fishing line or anything. It's like, nope, this is how we do it. Okay. I'm in. I'm all in. Let's see, how far are we in? We're about 45 minutes in. Good, I can start this other set, because this will be done in minutes. Well, plus, if you wanted to get just this with fishing line and you've got a huge room, this thing would be swinging all over the place. I just like that it's not brushed up, it's not sitting against some debris or something. It's just like, nope, it's floating. It's floating. Shut up, it's floating. Like, yep, it's floating. I mean, I've got the mock that I'm working on has these clear things in like a tower, just like this tall, and it's holding a ship up above it. It's like, there's no other way to do it, really. I like that technique. That's very subtle, but I like it. Yeah, you could. And I've got magnets from M-Tron sets. I could, you could build them into the base of this, and then the problem is you put it down and it goes flunk like that, or it pushes away. So you'd have to have them positioned to where it sits. Because it sometimes will lock. Like if you can get it just positioned right, the weight and then the repulsing will lock. But if it gets pushed off any one direction, it just... I've done that with a few other, not builds, but experiments. It's fun. Fun with magnets. Yeah. Small enough that you could put in a Lego set, too. I'm tired of all these non-levitating ships from my Star Wars Lego. Ugh. Okay, this is flatten it out a little bit. There we go. A little off-centered. Oh, and he's got a little bitty brain because he's a little bitty thing. Just a little bitty brain. Hey, Beth. Did you know this about Brickheadz? You know those little figures that are like little super deformed chibi figures? I think you built a couple. They have little pink bricks inside their heads to represent their brains.
Wait, say that again?
So these little figures, like that, they have little pink bricks inside to represent their brains.
Weird.
And so little baby Yoda, the child, his is really small. It's just one little piece.
Come on, guys.
So have you heard from Paula? When are we going to do our makeup stream?
Oh, I don't know. I need to ask. Probably after we finish moving.
I just texted them. Did you get all that? When I
Yesterday?
texted? Yeah.
Yeah. So probably once they're fully in, I can do it. Allie, come on.
On your non-levitating plane. Yeah.
Daddy's working, so
Daddy's working. Oh, shut up.
I said sort of.
Yeah, this is the epitome of sort of working. Speaking of non-levitating planes, I got this guy. I got his underside a little more finished, so it looks like the top a little more. Need to clean up this area a little bit, and then fill this in, but I think it looks pretty good. You can see from this camera probably a little bit better, but now it looks a little more uniform. Got rid of those gray pieces. That was bothering me. That was stupid. Hate it. Oh, yeah, I already showed that. The microfighter version of it. Very excited about that. Thanks. Yeah, that took all of like, I get it built. I'm like, I instantly don't like this. So I had this call with somebody that Beth knows, and it was their grandma who set it up. She knows her grandma. It's somebody she went to, like, she knew from Kentucky when she lived in Kentucky. And her grandson is 9 and really likes Lego. And so I got to talk with him. And of course he's a 9-year-old boy, so he's shy until his mom was there with him, started asking questions, and it was a lot of fun. I was basically just talking about stuff, and he wasn't really into it for a little bit, and then he really got into it and wanted to tell me all about his Mario Lego that he got, which I think was super cute. I was going somewhere with this. Oh, so I was like, so have you built your own stuff? And he's like, no, not really. I was like, oh, okay. But then instantly he was like, except for I built this one thing. And I was like, okay, show me. It was really fun. I'm waiting for my phone to go off. Oh, here, it did. Oh, no, thanks, Target. $15 off when you spend $75 or more. That's not the alert I want. I want the 501st packet back in stock. Dag nabbit. I'm totally resigned to not getting that ever. Yeah, it was fun. It was a little more me being kind of preachy about Lego than I wanted to, but I also didn't really know what they wanted to talk about. So it's kind of like, okay, whatever you guys want to talk about. You know, they just, you know, he's 9. So it's kind of like, he'll talk what he wants to talk about. There you go. Ooh, I don't like that either. You get to see them studs up in there. So there's your baby Yoda, the child, and your Mandalorian Brickheadz. It's a fun build. A lot of extra pieces here. Yeah, that's never a good thing to have to like wade through what you're going to talk to people about. But I had this other thing that I was working on, or that I plan to be doing. Hopefully, this company is going to pay me to talk to them about this stuff. So I made an outline for that. And I basically use that as sort of talking points. But again, it's a 9-year-old, and I could talk for about 10 minutes before they just eyes glaze over, and you're like, okay. Well, and then you have to switch it up, and then you have to engage and make sure that they know that you're talking to them and not at them. So, all right, a bunch of stickers that I will not be putting on this set. Because this set's going to get taken apart like instantly. Please do perfect impressions of the voice of the character you're building. Well, and then this is the way. I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold. Isn't that like his line? He doesn't really have a voice. It's just kind of. What's up, Chris? How you doing? How's life? How's life in not the used car sales? How's life in the car sales / mega YouTuber world? You mega YouTuber, you. Not that one. That one. That one's the jetpack one. Yeah, this was one of the lines from the movie that I have no apologies for. They fly now. They fly now. So dumb. So dumb. I can't even. What a weird little thing. Like, you go through this whole thing with building so washed out. With developing a mold for that thing, and then you have an extra thing where you put a little tile in there. Like, you can't, I don't know. About to go into work and it's 100 degrees today. Yeah, it's, I feel ya. It's 93 right now, and it's supposed to be, it's going to get up to 104 today here in good old ATX. That one goes with that one, and goes with this one. Yeah, whatever you do, stay hydrated. Good call. Because I don't want a dead Chris on my hands. Small blaster, large blaster. Jetpack. Jetpack guy. Trying to face the camera. Hey, get your shot in there. Time for your close-up, Mr. DeMille. Here's your regular first order trooper. Drink your blue milk. Alrighty. times 2. So even though I'm not going to get the 501st pack probably anytime soon, I am excited because in 2 weeks I'll get my Razor Crest. And that'll be a good couple days worth of building. I pre-ordered that Mo back in like March. So that'll be fun. And then I think coming Thursday I'll probably just do some design stuff. I have some stuff I need to instructionize, so I may go run through re-instructioning that. That'll be super fun for everybody to watch. No, there goes a squirrel. Should have the camera pointed outside. Check it out, y'all. I'm a squirrel. Gotta get my nut. Gotta take my nut back to my tree. These ingots are great for greebling. I love them. Nice to see some sand blue in this too. Sand blue wedges. It's gonna be nice to use later on something. I'm gonna tear this thing apart. There's that trans clear again. It floats. Darth also had an option for them to use the side skirt armor, but I only have so much money. Those bars, those were awesome to do in the front armor of the T90 with. Those bars. Which bars? Oh, the bar, those things? Yeah, like if you get a bunch of these in a row, I bet it would look really great. I'd love to build a giant, like, battle star with just nothing but those as, like, plate armor around the hull. That would frustrate me if I was a kid. Get that piece in there. So in watching this scene originally, this Pisana speeder chase scene, I was just not convinced that a treaded vehicle could keep up with a vehicle that had basically anti-grav repulsor lift technology. Like, I just didn't see it. If it was a wheeled thing, I could see it, like just like a single drive. But something about the treads just seemed to me, treads just don't seem like they go fast. I mean, I get snowmobiles have treads and they're not slow, but at the speeds they were showing, I'm just like, I don't know that I buy that. It looks cool. Maybe I just don't understand vehicles well enough. Really? I would be surprised. Thanks for sharing that. So this vehicle isn't out of the realm of too fantastical. I'll tell you what, these just are not lining up really well. Oh, okay, yeah. Literally none. I think I read it before I saw the literally none part because I was like, yeah. And this thing, I mean, everybody's seen the movie. This thing was just tearing. It was ripping through that. The miracle of movie magic. Just like there's no way that thing would be keeping up. Which is probably why it then launched. It had its little, that's a whole speeder built on the fact that it has a catapult action to launch somebody who is wearing a jetpack. What if you just happen to have a passenger who wasn't wearing a jetpack? You just throw him at him. Here you go, have fun. Ah, wait! Now that's super cool looking, and it's not ruined with like a flick cannon or a stud shooter. So I have a feeling there might be a stud shooter in my future. Yeah, treads are for when you've got terrain you need to traverse, not when you need to blazingly catch up to somebody over a flat distance. Well, I'm not going to argue with that. What, hollowing out a planet to build a super laser was... I thought the troop carriers were alright. That actually kind of made a little sense. Oh wait, there are stud shooters. Might leave those off. Because so far, it's a neat little thing. Yeah, gross. I mean, at least they're gray, they're not black. That's pretty fast, man. Downhill on a paved road. See, this is okay. Those stud shooters are all right because it looks like it's built into the model a little better, and it looks like it could be part of it. It's not just these big old black honking things sticking out the sides. I say this is a lazy Sunday, but after this, we got like a bunch of stuff to do. This app is so great. So I've got the Target app, and I'm trying to, get this 501st thing, and I have it set to alert me when it's back in stock, and so it keeps alerting me. And then it says, so I open it up and it says temporarily out of stock. I'm like, well, then it's not in stock, is it? Delivery not offered for this item, not available in shipping, notify when back in stock. Sorry, this can't be shipped to your zip code. Helpful. Wicked helpful. Yeah, so I took the dog for a walk, made breakfast, doing this. After this, workout. After workout, like litter box, dishes, a bunch of house stuff. Got to do some yard stuff. So not too lazy. Oh wait, these got put on upside down. Rest of this week, though, I got the whole week off. I plan on doing a lot of sorting. It's going to be so nice. I've got boxes and boxes of things to sort. Something's supposed to go on that other side? Yeah, it's supposed to be 2 of those. Oh, no, there is. Okay. But just one of these. All right. Yeah. Those shoot things. So there's your bike. Put that there. Extra pieces. Not too bad. Not anything really great. There's that decorated tile. And then of course, all your studs for all your stud shooters. They fly now. Did you not know that, Chris? They fly now. All right. So Sorry for the loud crinkling. See, what they should do, because J.J. Abrams, to me, has great vision, right? He has a really good idea of, like, the breadth and the impact of the story. But what they need to do is they need to get, like, a dream team series of directors and writers. They need to get, like, let J.J. Abrams produce it, and then get, like, Edgar Wright to direct it, and Aaron Sorkin to do the dialogue, and, you know, there's just so many ways to make something like this better, and they just seem to be making it so safe that it's boring sometimes, and you're like, oh, you feel like coming out of it going, I was, you know, I saw a movie. I indeed saw a movie. I'm sure there are other good, writers and directors out there that I'm overlooking. 10 years for Scott Pilgrim, by the way. That came out 10 years ago. Seems like yesterday. Where's Travis, man? I'm working on the bike now, or the Pisani speeder. He said there were interesting construction bits in here, so let's see what happens. What's your least favorite theatrically released Star Wars movie? Probably Attack of the Clones. There are pieces of it that I really like in terms of things that could be toys and battle set pieces, and we get to see Jedi in sort of a fighting role. But there's so much that I have to fast forward through. I just can't. It's hard to feel immersed in a universe as fantastic as the one Lucas made, and at the same time be repulsed and feel like you're rolling your eyes at everything everyone says. You can't do both. You can't be completely immersed in it and then be pulled out because somebody said something stupid, or like a rising and falling action in a scene that is, you have a scene and it has a rise and a fall, and it leads into the rise and fall of the next scene, and to have that fall sort of interrupted by every little thing being a little fart joke, or a little droid doing a funny sound, or some little pratfall every time, it makes it seem like it's a series of little bitty snippets of something else, not a cohesive whole of a movie that's got its own heartbeat and its own way of flowing you through a narrative. It's just this little jerky sort of, here's a thing, here's another thing. It's like, oh God, it's terrible to watch. And then when it is trying to be serious, it's melodramatic, teen angst serious. And who thought creepy Hayden Christensen was, that relationship just didn't make any effing sense at all. It just didn't. I've been doing nothing but thinking about you since I saw you. Oh, I haven't been thinking about you at all. But now I'm going to creepily leer at you. And now we're married. It's like, it's every red pill's dream come true. I'm just going to be weird until you give in to me. effing terrible. It's just terrible. But I found Rise of Skywalker a massive disappointment. I haven't felt the need to watch it a second time. I will say, the Rise of Skywalker to me was a disappointment because it was a different level of disappointment. I think in terms of that movie, it was more the chances that weren't taken. And it was the safe road and it was the predictable road that they took. And in the end, it was, again, a J.J. Abrams head fake where, no, it's not Palpatine. Oh, it is Palpatine. And there's this need to explain every little thing, and you don't need to explain every little thing. And I think they tried to explain every little thing. I don't know. I wasn't upset at like the story or the acting or the set pieces or the cinematography or the screenplay for that matter. I mean, I felt like it had pretty good beats. But it was just kind of like a visual mess. It was almost like Michael Bay-ish. You know, it was just big set piece after big set piece, and there wasn't really a need for a lot of it. But then you read some of the artwork, or you read some of the stories that went along with like the original art pieces for it. And what we could have got from some of the original stuff just seemed so cool. It's like, why didn't you do that? Could you not see how cool that was? JJ is also about stories of inherited power instead of earning it. Yeah, and I think inherited power versus earning it is a fine concept, but the person inheriting the power needs to not want it and needs to do everything in their power to avoid it and give it to other people and recognize other people. And I think part of the problem was there was no reluctance on Rey's part. She really wanted to know where she came from, right? She really wanted to know what this was all about. So the payoff could only be show her what her past was. That's the only payoff. Whereas if she, you know, a reluctant power person would be somebody like Paul Atreides, where he's born into power because he's the son of a duke. But this power that is suddenly given to him, he is wary of using it. He does not want it. He knows that it will destroy him, and it will destroy the people who are around him. So that's a better example of somebody not wanting power. I just, you know, I get the feeling like this was all about creating cool-looking set pieces, and they were cool-looking set pieces, but there was just so little payoff in. Here's a good example of fan service. Lando and that young lady who they met on that planet. It's like, do we need to know that Lando had a daughter? Now we do. You know, we're just playing into that. But they don't explain it. You know, it's like they want to give it to us, but they don't. The dumbest thing was the knife, like the whole MacGuffin of the knife, where they had to find this artifact, but 3PO couldn't tell him where it was because he couldn't speak Sith. I mean, there's good bits in there, right? There's good nods to like some of the older EU stuff and the older Legends stuff, but the payoff is they're standing in front of wreckage that's only a few years old. Okay, so think about this. The wreckage of the Death Star on this planet that's not Endor is only 30 years old, 25 years old. The ancient Sith artifact, the knife, is thousands of years old or whatever it was. But it matches up with the wreckage of but they don't say it was, you know, there's no story behind it. They predicted this. There's somebody who carved it and they don't know why, and it was just this weird relic. But they, little did they know that it was passed along because it was going to match this thing. No, it just was suddenly, oh my God, that thing matched the. How? How did they know it was going to do that? That had to have been made like in the last 20 years, which means this is not an ancient Sith relic. It's some doodad that somebody made. She was never tempted by the dark side, which has been a major theme of the point of Star Wars. Even if they wanted to steer her away from that, there was absolutely no tension. Yeah, like she was never. I think the closest they got was when she was in the second one, when she was on Octo with Luke, and he said, "You went straight for the dark." That's the closest we got to that. But there was no payoff. There was no follow-up. And you're almost like, well, why? Everything was kept mysterious. J.J. Abrams was really good during Lost about setting up mystery. Like, he was really good at setting the stage for things that were mysterious. He knew what buttons to push to get people to keep watching. What's behind this door? What do these numbers mean? What does this phrase mean? Who's this sudden new character? I mean, he's really good at, like, creating the sense of mystery and discovery and wanting to know more and wanting to push forward, but not at the payoff. The payoff has always been kind of a struggle, I feel, for his storytelling, and it didn't help in this at all either, because I feel like he was trying to, in one movie, he was trying to set up a great mystery behind this one character who we only met 2 movies ago, And I honestly still don't know what was going on with Palpatine. Like, I've watched it a couple times since then, and I'm kind of like, wait, what? Why is Snoke in... So Snoke was he created this whole... So in the EU line, the Legends stuff, Palpatine did clone himself. And that was actually a thing. And when he died, a version of him came back and Luke had to fight him. So that was kind of a precedent thing. And I got that. And so I wasn't really kind of, oh my God, he's a clone, blah, blah, blah. It's like, are you surprised? There was a whole movie called Attack of the Clones. So, I mean, this technology's in there. Don't be so surprised. But at the same time, I feel like his machinations, there could have been a little more storytelling. Even in some flashbacks. Like, show, don't tell. Don't, like, talk about what happened. Show maybe in a flashback something happening. And tie it back to the prequels. Tie it back to him using the Force to create Anakin Skywalker. Tie it, there's so many things that they could have done to tie it back to. The problem I have with the way that it was pitched and came out was that it became the Palpatine story instead of the Skywalker story. Because the whole time he was always the biggest villain. It wasn't Vader. They totally neutered Vader. And I don't know, with just a little more work, just a few lines here and there. I'm not a filmmaker, so. Agreed. Like, the grandioseness of Jedi was probably my least favorite of the first 3 movies, but it was still I think also, to be honest, I think Rise of Skywalker probably suffered a lot from Carrie Fisher not being able to be there. I think they probably had more with her planned, and I think a lot of the disjointedness came from having to want to shoehorn her already filmed dialogue with Rey in whenever they could, and you could tell it made no sense, none of it. And to try to get that to fit in where it wasn't necessary probably screwed the movie up a little bit. It probably made it a little more disjointed than it needed to be. And I appreciate them wanting to do it and needing for her to be there so she could die. Because I think in the original plan, she was going to die anyway. So, it's like J.J. Abrams wanted to make an 8th movie but couldn't, so he made a 9th movie into what? Yeah. Yeah, and that's another... I don't know why they thought... I think they probably thought, Empire did it with Irving Kershner. We don't need the same director on the next movie. We can get a new director, and I think it'll be fun. I think it'll bring a new vision, and Rian Johnson proved himself with, and I don't know what he proved himself with first. I know he did something that everybody kind of liked. But at the same time, it was like, you guys were really up on eliminating the EU as source material and as basis for some of these stories, so much so that you decanonized it. But then, yeah, Looper was great. I liked Looper. I thought it was a great movie. And as hard as time travel is to deal with, I thought it was one of the absolute most, I won't say most perfect, but in how it handled time travel, it made it this mundane tool, right? It wasn't this weird sort of mess with your brain, here's what's going to happen, real mind job kind of thing. It's just like, these are the things that can happen with time travel. I thought they did great with it. I didn't see Brick, so I don't have any idea. But I thought Looper was great. I'll watch that one again. And that's mostly because Joseph Gordon-Levitt is really great in it. So, but yeah, I thought, and if that's the case, yeah, give that guy something to do. I'm kind of worried what Taika Waititi is going to do with it, because I have a feeling it's going to be fun, and, Ragnarok was really fun. It'd be interesting to see what he does with Star Wars, if that's still going to be their plan. I'm not going to put a sticker on that. Here's what it would be. Just imagine. Okay. I could go about this all day. And it's not anything anyone doesn't know already. Nobody needs an old pasty white guy's opinions on Star Wars. Hey, let's talk about Squadrons. Who's excited for Squadrons? Oh, so last week I bought a PSVR off a garage sale. I spent entirely too much money on it. It worked once. And now it doesn't work. And it's a garage sale piece, and they were selling it because their dad died and they were getting rid of all his stuff. And so I can't really go back and say, hey, I want my money back. I could, but that would be a dick move. So I'm not going to. So I'm just going to try to get it serviced, see if I can get it fixed. But I want to have it for Squadrons. What's up, AutoCat? Eli. Hi, Eli. Oh, hey, Eli. So Eli, everybody, is the young man who I had the pleasure of talking with last week about Lego. He is a big Lego Mario fan. Everybody say hi, Eli. Yeah, it ended up not... I got it working for like one round of Battlefront. It was fun. I was like, sweet, powered it all off. Next day, turned it all back on. Was going to play all the VR games that came with it. Didn't even power on after that. So I'm like, man. Yeah, so Eli is into Lego, and I'd like everybody to encourage more Lego usage. And Eli, if you can't get your parents to buy you more, take apart what you got and rebuild it into something. So you weren't part of the stream earlier. So this is what we built earlier. The Mando and the child. So these were fun. Right? And now we're doing the Pisana Speeder Chase set. That one. And we've got the bike done. And the First Order Troopers done. Now we're working on this little skiff thing that they escaped in which they escaped. Also, Eli, thank you for the subscription. I really appreciate that. Or the follow on Twitch. I really appreciate that. If you ever get anything going, I will follow you back. If you ever do any gaming or anything like that, or if you want to start up a Twitch channel in which you build Lego, I will totally follow you back. I appreciate it. And you. And I know it's 11:30, so we've only got one bag left and it's kind of small, so I'm gonna keep going until this is done. Don't leave you guys hanging, because it's just a small little set. Oh, bringing back the tubes. I like sets that have flexible tubes in them. This is one of the things that I wish I could greeble into more of my designs, but they're just so small it's hard to kind of get a tube into something that size. That just looks so rad. I love it. I don't know why, it just seems more real when you've got like these big old tubes hanging out the side of it. And never be able to take apart the stuff you've already built. Yep. Yeah, you can go online and look for all the instructions, like Kodiak was saying, and rebuild anything. I have a UCS X-Wing that I got 20 years ago that I rebuilt the other day, and I still had all the parts for it, and I got my instructions out. I still have the instructions, but you can always find the instructions online and rebuild them. This is the only piece I really care about. Actually, that red cheese wedge is pretty good. These hollow 1x1s are great. All right, last bag, last bag, last bag. Watch your ears. So I think I'd like to also start, maybe I'll turn the camera and the lights around and start working on my mock a little more. But I just don't have enough pieces for it yet. I just need all the dark orange in the world, and that's going to be expensive and a long time coming. And my computer isn't good enough to do a large digital design of that many pieces, so I don't know how to best go about this. I think just building it's going to be the best way to do it, but that scares me. She's going to be smiling. Smiling Ray. I will say, Ray, the actress, Daisy Ridley, right? She is fantastic. She is one of my favorite parts of the new series. I like her a lot. I like all the people who are part of the new trilogy. I think Oscar Isaacs is a lot of fun. I think John Boyega is a good person and good for the program. He's a fan, which is important. So I think they did well in finding these people. That's interesting. I've never seen that part. I'm sure it's a roll cage for a dune buggy or something. Interesting way to handle that. Studio always allows you to group bricks together, so the program treats it like it's only one brick. I had one built that's 33. Yeah, when I was doing the Capitol, I had to, in order to be able to move sections, it was because I had like 65,000 bricks, and I wasn't working on my laptop. I was working on my computer at work, which I really shouldn't have been doing, but I don't have a home computer that could handle that. And yeah, grouping them and turning off snap and turning off collision was like the only way I could get stuff done after a certain point. Just too much to handle. I'm doing which reminds me, I need to get back into finishing instructions for that. I need to do the instructions for, I designed, this was before you were kind of here, Kodiak. I did a design for a house for a friend of mine, and I'm doing the instructions for him now. I need to get back and doing the instructions so he can build it. Might do that this week too. I got a lot of things I want to do this coming week. Flip back over. Yay, thanks for being here, Fly. Stream wouldn't be the same without you. Oh, interesting. That is pretty cool. Neat. Yeah, I'm trying to. That's one thing building a big building has taught me is how to deal with how to. I'm gonna take a lot of what I've learned building that and like try to apply it to this next thing, which isn't gonna be as big, but gonna be big enough. And how to approach it, how to build it for travel, how to design the plates for it, what it sits on, build it in sections. That kind of thing. I mean, the Capitol was built in sections, but they were big sections, I think I can do it smaller. So, Kodiak, technically your hour and a half is up if you got to go do adult things. I know you were using this as a timer. I'm probably going to be another 10 minutes, maybe. I'm kidding. You stay as long as you want. I don't own you. This always feels like an old piece. Like these pieces have been around forever. Every time I use one or it's in a new set, I'm like, God, those have been around forever. I kind of want to go grab some more coffee, but I'm almost done here. Ski poles. These are so great. These would be perfect for X-Wing blaster cannons on a microfighter. I should look into that if somebody already hasn't done that. I like how they're making this look fragile. Like this is a rickety old thing. What? No sticker, but it would be that one. Oh, I'm a little sad. That leaves a little bit of a gap, but it's okay looking. Another sticker here that I'm not going to do. That is pretty cool there, that front sort of rudder. Mm. This is good. I got a lot of these parts. These not ski poles, but like umbrella poles with a stopper on them in this dark tan color. That's going to be fun for other builds. It's good to get sets that have a lot of one part. This would have been a good draft set. I would have drafted the crap out of this one. Eli, you play Fortnite? I think my son plays Fortnite. I have to talk to him about that. I don't know how recent he's played, but maybe I can have him look you up. Eli, have you started school of any kind? Are you doing remote school, like some Zoom classes or anything like that? I know my son is a junior, and he has had 2 days worth of a red cone. Look at that. I don't think I have a red cone. He's had 2 days worth of Zoom classes already. I don't know if he likes it or not, but it's what's available. Yes, you started school. Cool. My daughter is in her sophomore year now of college, and she is, I think they're doing remote, but she's also teaching some stuff and tutoring. So everybody's working from the house. Oh, just that. And I'm not going to put a sticker on that, but that's okay. That's pretty cool, little offset, like engine part. It's actually kind of a neat little set so far. You start the 27th. All right, yeah. I wasn't sure where Kentucky was versus Texas or Colorado or anything like that. Not that I know anybody who's still in school in Colorado. But that's where I went to school. Oh, you know, I should have asked Travis while he was on here if he saw Transformers War for Cybertron on Netflix and what he thought of it. The first part, Siege. I thought it was good. I thought it was the dialogue was a little kind of stilted, but. So you're 9, does that mean you're starting 4th grade? Am I right on that? What is 4th grade about? Do you do differential statistics or trigonometry or anything like that? I don't think you are. I'm just kidding. There's all your stud shooter bits. I'm not going to do any of those. All right, here comes your junkyard bit. Bunch of these. I have a lot of those. That's good. Got 4 of them here. Am I still on the right playlist here? Yes, okay. My goodness, a lot of poles. Some antennas. I haven't seen a good solid antenna piece in a while. These are some older pieces too. This reminds me of old Star Wars sets where they have a ship and then they've got a little thing, right? And it was like, this was part of that scene. It was just a thing that it flew by, but we're going to build a Lego set out of it. Like one of the early sets of Phantom Menace was one of the Naboo fighters. And it had Anakin and R2 and a Naboo fighter. And it also built the little thing that, whoops. Oh no, that's right. It also built the little thing that he hid behind for like half a second on screen, right? So it was like you get the fighter, and then you get the figure, and then there's this little like yellow box. And if you watch the movie, it's like right before he climbs up into the cockpit, he hides behind this thing. So in the set, they built that. So you could recreate the bit where he goes, hide behind that, climb into the fighter, take off. They're always doing stuff like that. At least they used to. And this kind of reminds me of that. Like, I don't know what this little junk scene is, but I'm sure it was, they flew by it half a second in the movie. Well, we're coming up to the end of this because we only have a few pages left. And I would like to thank the Academy. And this is just a pile full of junk. Shovel, that. And these are your extra pieces. Oh, cool, an extra piece of that. That's the best one. All right, so here is your set. Here's your speeder bike with your driver on it. And this guy in the back waiting to get launched. Does he actually launch? It doesn't show that it does. Is that part of the other instructions? Nope, just shows that it shoots. So I thought maybe this would raise up and it would, I think that's just for the fender. Because at some point it like does this and it shoots them up, but I don't think that accordionates. Anyway, there's your biker scout. There's your biker thing. Now this is a little tragic because this should have, you need to have Finn and Poe on this as well, so you need to get them in a different set, which I think is the Poe X-Wing, and 3PO on here as well. So, but it's a pretty good set. It's got a good fragile look to it. You know, it looks like it could swoop along the ground a little bit with its clear plastic undercarriage there. And this guy's got some good tread action. Kind of vibrates a little when it runs. That's kind of fun. This is notoriously blank. I would have done something right there. That looks kind of ugly, just hanging out there. I don't know what that's for. But overall, pretty good. It was fun. This was kind of useless. But these scenes always are, unless you're like doing a play thing where they pull over here and need tools and then they fly off again. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks again, Kodiak, for being here. Thanks, AutoCat. Thanks, Eli, for being here, and anybody else who came across on Twitch or YouTube. I appreciate you all being here. This coming Thursday, I'll be back again at 8 o'clock. But I think I'll be doing some studio work, so maybe some instructions and some designing. We'll just have to see. You guys have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.